What documents do you need to make it easy to get a business line of credit? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into right now. Look, when I go to get a line of credit, I can typically secure it in a week or less. How's this possible? Because I know exactly what the lender is going to ask for before they actually ask. I have that prepared and I can send it to them in advance or the minute they ask. And this helps the underwriting process be super fast, and that helps you get the money you need when you actually need it. So what documents do they look for when you're getting a line of credit? We're going to dive in right now, and I'm going to teach you the shortcuts to be able to get lines of credit in a very, very short period of time. Let's dive in. So the first thing that lenders are going to ask for is really your personal information. It's not necessarily documents. They're going to want to know your name. They're going to want to know your date of birth. They're going to want to know your social security number as well. Now look, a lot of people want to get away from personal guarantees when they own businesses, but keep in mind, the federal government requires that you provide your social security number so a bank that's issuing credit or opening an account can verify your identity. So just anticipate and expect that you're going to need to provide these things. As well, you're going to need to provide proof of who you are. Now, typically this can be done by simple identification like a passport or a driver's license, but I personally have a copy of the front and back of my driver's license in a folder ready to go, even my passport ready to go before I even start to apply for any kind of financing. Now, to continue on the personal side, some lenders are actually going to ask for personal financials as well. So this may include your personal tax returns for 1 to 3 years. It also may include your personal bank statements. So don't worry, only some lenders do this. You may look at lenders that are basing the loan on collateral or just your revenue, but when you're actually looking at loans like longer term loans or SBA loans, it's often the case where they're underwriting you and the business at the same time. So anticipate having 2 to 3 months worth of personal bank statements required by the lender, and anticipate providing 1 to 3 years worth of tax returns as well. Again, I have all of this in a folder on my desktop ready to go, anticipating the lender may ask. Now, like I said, a lot of loans will need this, but the best kind of loans will. So have that documentation ready to get the best line of credit. Next, we move on to your business, and they're going to want the basics. They're typically going to ask for your entity papers. So if you're a corporation, for example, these are articles of incorporation. So whenever you set up your entity, they gave you actual documentation. You need to have that documentation ready to go. Almost all lenders are going to want to see this. They're also going to want to see verification of your EIN. Now, this comes from the IRS after you've already set up your entity. So I always scan that and have that in a folder on my desktop. These things are required on almost any type of business financing. Now, next, it comes down to business financials. And what you're going to need there really depends on what type of line of credit you're actually getting. They're almost always going to ask you for 3 months to 6 months worth of business bank statements. So every month, at the end of the month, I download my bank statement. I always make sure in the folder on my desktop, I have at least 3. I really keep 6 months. 6 months, because a lot of them will ask you for up to 6 months worth of bank statements. Now, if you're getting more advanced type of lines of credit, like SBA lines of credit, they're going to want deeper levels of documentation. They're going to ask for 1 to 3 years worth of your business tax returns, all pages. So have those ready to go. They're also going to ask for a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet as well. Now, they may ask for the year end for the previous year. They're almost always going to ask for the most recent 1, 2, 3 quarters. So have your P&Ls ready to go. Have your balance sheets ready to go, your tax returns, your bank statements all ready, because when you have this ready, it makes the underwriting process super fast, because you can supply all this to the lender and have other documentation ready upon the request. Other things you're going to have ready to go is a resume. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but when you're applying for loans like SBA, they want to know you have the experience and knowledge to actually succeed in your industry. SBA is one of the only type of lenders that's going to ask for this, but you should have a resume on hand and ready to go, because the best loans are going to require. And the next is a business plan. And once again, your most advanced type of loan programs and lines of credit out there like SBA are going to want you to have a business plan. Now, you can go to places like LivePlan to be able to produce this very, very, very cheap, but a business plan shows that you know your market, how you're going to get customers, what your projected financials are as well. A business plan also helps you know exactly what you're going to do to grow your business, who your competitors are, what your products are, how you're actually going to get customers. This business plan just helps you have a good good idea of exactly how you're going to run your business. And the best kind of lenders want to know that you have that kind of plan prepared and ready to go. Now, some additionals that will come up. They're going to want to look at your personal credit. And yeah, they're going to want to look at your business credit. And having issues in either one of those areas can make it difficult, especially with the best kinds of lines of credit. So you want to make sure that you address any negative items on your personal credit. You should always be working on improving that. And you've got to be working on building your business credit. SBA won't even approve most existing businesses if you don't have established business credit. So make sure you're working on these. Now, the other thing is for SBA loans, they're going to want you to have some kind of asset that can be served up as collateral. So you want to think about in your personal or business what you have that could work for this. So what I mean is maybe you have stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, a personal residence. Maybe your actual business has inventory, equipment, or account receivables. Whatever you are going to use as collateral for that kind of financing, they're going to want proof of that. So if you're using account receivables, they want to see an aged AR report. That's why you verify the amount of account receivables that you actually have. The same thing with inventory. If you're using inventory as collateral, they're going to want an inventory report so they have a good idea of how much that inventory is worth, and they can also see that you're managing that inventory properly to make them comfortable with to use that as an asset for collateral. And that's it. I know. It sounds a little overwhelming. Here's the great news. There's a lot of different kinds of lines of credit out there you can get. Some lines of credit you're able to get just based on your revenue, just with minimal documentation that we talked about. And others, as I've mentioned, like SBA loans, the best kind of loans, the ones that have the lowest interest rate, the highest limit, the longest terms, those ones are going to require more documentation. But by knowing what lenders are looking for and having this prepared and ready to go, you can fly through the underwriting process. And once you're doing this, you'll see how easy it is to continuously get more lines of credit to be able to grow your business. Now, if you'd like to learn more about getting lines of credit to grow your business, check out our special link at creditsuite.com/27, the number 27. And that will get you our guide on 27 killer ways to get the money you need to grow your business. And if you got value from this training, make sure you like and subscribe and keep your eye out for our next training where we talk about more cool ways to get the money you need to start and grow your business.